I love life and I love exploring it. And it's really about like how many things I just want the glory of God to come through my life. I was always really into holistic healing and I needed a lot of it, which is why I searched it out. So I was always in search of God, what do you want me to do in my life? Because my life, I want to live for you. So,
and I love that. I just feel like maybe we forget that we have this ability and that we've been tapping into that yumminess all our lives. I'm just curious if our listeners can be reminded of the things that they did in the very beginning, like when they were younger, like maybe pausing and just noticing, like, where did you really felt like you were being led and you did something, maybe you didn't understand the big picture.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
So I met Jessica. I'm going to tell the story about where I met you in a little bit because it's phenomenal. But we go way back, and we came across each other again a second time through a really beautiful mutual friend. You guys may have remembered me talking about my friend Elisa, who passed away on Christmas Day, and she was a connector. She brought us back together, and Jessica and I have been like hanging out and having lots of fun ever since. Jessica is the owner of Haute Healing Oasis in Stamford, which is the bomb. It's a magical place. It's someplace I love to go hang out. And she has such an extensive background. And I'm really excited for you guys to meet her and love her like I do. So Jessica, I'm just going to let you, I have your bio here, but I want you to kind of give them in your words, like who you are in essence. And yeah.
hi guys, I'm Jessica, Scofield-Chichester. I'm a Haute Healing Oasis is in Stamford. It's a bioenergy wellness center. So it's basically an adult playground for health.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that like houses, dozens of different wellness devices that are all proven to help your body heal itself naturally. And you just feel good at the end. And the byproduct is weight loss, and you got to come check us out. And we just built what's right behind me, a Sage Center. So we have different wellness classes and such. And Jeannie's going to be here on Saturday, May 21st. From 1 to about 3 o'clock. So you definitely want to make sure that you get tickets to that event. And then we also are going to have that's a big weekend for us. We're going to do pop-up shops the next day. Like there's going to be dozens of different wellness and holistic vendors here. Anything from crystals to food, to vegan food. I mean, you name it, we have it. So a little bit about me. Born and raised in Stamford. My dad's side, one of the first to immigrate here off the Mayflower. So that Scofield's a big name in Stamford. And then my mom came from Italy. I really feel like my students at school, I'm also a teacher. My students at school address me as a tree. They call me Tree Jess because I do feel like I'm everything, I'm everyone, ong so hum. I love life and I love exploring it. And it's really about like how many things, I just want the glory of God to come through my life. And so I don't feel like my life is mine. It's always been his. So even at a very young age, I volunteered with underprivileged kids and adults. I actually forgot to put in that I did some work in the youth prisons as well. And I really wanted to be a missionary. So I traveled to different third world countries throughout my life at a very young age. I decided to go into teaching so I could wear all these different hats at once and still be in the mission field, which is school, because it is a mission field. And loving people and doing that, I never felt the need to have kids. I just always wanted to really help kids. But I do have 3 step kids that I helped to raise. And I had exchange students from China. And I'm really excited because we're building youth programs at Haute Healing Oasis as well, working with nonprofits to really help the youth in the community with mental health. And that's really where my heart is. On a different bookend, I was always really into holistic healing, and I needed a lot of it, which is why I searched it out. So I got involved. My first job was at the health food store, with the vitamins and aromatherapy and green drinks. And I was like vegan when all the packaged food was disgusting when I was a kid. So just really liked health, and I got into Kundalini yoga at a young age, and crystals and all this fun stuff that really God gave us to connect us with nature, to connect us with Him, and to help us heal. And I became a Hall of Fame weightlifter. Long story short, I was the strongest woman in the United States, one of the top 10 strongest women in the world, the first woman inducted into the Hall of Fame. I took care of a woman for over a decade, and I helped teach her how to walk. She couldn't walk. She had cerebral palsy. And she taught me a lot about my life and about how not to complain and to get up and fulfill God's destiny. So I was always in search of, God, what do you want me to do?
And I really love that you said like your first job was in a health food store. And, even like exercising those things, like you were acutely aware of that type of energy, even though the outside world tells us different stories, right?
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, for me, like I did similar things. Like I worked out, like I got married very young, but God kept telling me to go to the gym. Like I was exercising, even though it was like we had $0, like $0. I went to the War Memorial in Danbury, which was a way to do exercise for free. And it was like, I could go and just have the kids there and the babies that I had, and the same thing. And God told me, like with the exchange students, like I had foster care, I had foster kids, and God laid it on my heart. Like these are the things that are needed. And I love that. I just feel like maybe we forget that we have this ability, and that we've been tapping into that yumminess all our lives. I'm just curious if our listeners can be reminded of the things that they did in the very beginning, like when they were younger, like maybe pausing and just noticing, like, where did you really felt like you were being led and you did something, maybe you didn't understand the big picture.
And when we're young, we really are connected to spirit. We're connected to our intuition. We don't have all this fog, right? So there could be all this chaos going on in your house. But I know for the people listening that amidst all the chaos, you still had the core, the essence of you that is God. And it's that connection that brought you through. It's that connection to God that gave me a sense of what real family was, and an understanding that my parents are guides that have problems like everybody's parents, so I can't look to a person for the solution to be on the white horse to rescue me. I can look to people for community. I can ask for people for help. But ultimately, at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, it's my communion and my relationship to God that is going to give me guidance on exactly every part of my life.
Thank you for saying this, and for like putting God in the forefront of everything. For me, that's where I live and land, and how important it is that we remember, like, and just because I also want to remind you guys, like, it's not about being perfect. It's not about like, oh, okay, like Jessica seems like she's got the perfect story or the perfect path. What we don't always include in our storyline is, there's hard stuff. There's stuff that there are decisions maybe that you went against that core, or that, that guidance from God, because the outside world did lead us away, or we felt drawn to it. And that's how we learn and grow, And do you
Yeah.
feel that way? Like, I'm sure that
Oh,
you've had
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
That's how I came into the light. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I was a product of my own parents' trauma that they never went through. And during that era, they couldn't ask for help. And they were really connected to God. But, you know, the big question is, what is God? Is this dogmatic formula? Or how do I
Mm.
translate God into a relationship, right? So observing that and then going, okay, well, I'm dealing with my own trauma. So where is God in the midst of that? God is more than that. God can speak to
Yeah.
us through that. And when you say, you know what, I'm learning more and more, when we just embrace these experiences, then he'll give us back the years we lost.
Oh my
Right?
gosh, I love that. And it's so true. Like, it's not even that they were lost. It's like, he's just like, oh, here, let's clear that path now. And let's rearrange the energy, and everything is, you're so safe. And love, you can then reflect and see where love was available to you,
Yeah.
you know. And yes, is trauma there, but we actually, like, it's like we've been paid to focus on just the trauma or the bad or the negative. And when we look at the miracle of where was the blessing in your life during the messy, who did come in and love you? Where was God sending you that bone, so to speak? Like, here's some extra yummy, and it's going to help you through. And you don't even realize it. But then you can kind of look back and be like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think, the most important thing is to just keep your eyes, and like your eyes, I also mean like the eyes of your heart, right?
Yes.
Keep your eyes on God. Keep your vision on God. This
Yes.
is all we only see, like we see a picture, we see the story, and we're like, how could this work out? But it's really actually just like one ingredient. We don't
Yes.
see a cake that God is building, or the 7-course meal, and who's coming to that meal and what that's going to do and how that's going to provide. So it's really, again, going back to faith, going back to that, to just God. And the way that I live my life is, my life is not mine.
Mm.
My life has nothing to do with me. My life is God's. My husband is not mine. My dog is not mine. My car, this business, my house, my job teaching, my children, nothing is mine. And it's all God's. It's all been given to me. And my job is to love it as much as I can. And the only way for me to love it as much as I can is for me to be in constant communion with God.
Yes. A relationship is like the most important thing that we can do daily. The relationship that we have with God, the communication, like the leaning in.
Mm.
I love how you said that. Like, it's not mine. And I think we do get really hung up in physical, where we, mine, like, it's my money, it's my this, or these are my goals. But we forget that our whole reason we're here is to be of service. Like, God has put the light in us,
Yeah.
so that we can move through life and remind other people that his love is so great.
Mhm.
And like, the biggest journey, I said this morning, I did this healing on Instagram when I was telling people to come on over and join us live here today. But it was around the noise chatter, that's what dropped into my spirit this morning. God was like, we're having a hard time. People are having a hard time getting from here and hearing me here. And
Mhm.
so that's what it was. This is the longest journey, going from the brain to the heart, like dropping out of our busy everyday chaos and going into the heart.
That's
And
so
God,
funny. Sorry.
God,
That's so funny, because I was sitting in my chair this morning, and I was talking to God, and I was just going through this new deck that I had. And God just reminded me, like, remember, right, like after I had surgery, which we'll talk about, but right after I had surgery, my husband said, do you miss your breast implants or your butt implants, or like, do you miss working out? do you miss all these things? And I said, I don't miss anything. What I don't want to miss is this moment.
Mm.
And what God was showing me this morning was, Jessica, I have a tendency to rush and want to do when I'm like Joan of Arc and like, let's go to battle. Like, you know, it's my warrior spirit. And it's like, whoa, wait, like there doesn't have to be one template for battle or one template for love, right? Like not one love language. Maybe right now it's the most important thing is to sit and be still and to reconnect and to realize how precious this moment is, and like this moment with you and with all of us here today. This is magic.
I can so relate, because this is exactly what the lesson has been. It's like there's not one road to success. There's not one method. There's not one system that's going to make sense to create like your desire. Your desire is with me, God said. Like the desire is going to happen when you release all your tendencies to go outside seeking, and then just sit here with me. Like God wants us to sit within. So our illnesses, our struggles, whatever that is, whatever that pain point is for you right now, can you come into the heart center, because God will guide you.
Yeah.
First I want to tell them a story, like how you and I came to meet. And so we had met at an event, which was really cool. And you were with another couple at the time, you know, some friends. And we were like all like jazzed up to be like in this metaphysical, spiritual God energy, which, you know, metaphysical can get a really bad rap in terms of that there isn't God there. But what I do, it's God, it's Jesus,
There's
Holy Spirit.
definitely there.
And this is where we first met. And I think we were both in a very different space energetically, because we came and we were like, yeah, we're going to do all these things and we're going to crush the world. And then we had promised to get together, took each other's numbers. And I think we had a couple phone calls, but nothing panned out. And I don't know if you look at it the same way. And I was
I do. I see us. I see vibration.
Right.
So I see going, and it was just like this.
Yeah.
It was, and then it was, but still feeling it until the tip.
And then God brought Elisa, and it's funny how I even met Elisa like randomly on Instagram. And I tell this story, and we just like, I just knew I needed to care for her, whatever it was. I just did what God showed me. Every single time she came to my house, I nurtured her. Every time we were together. And then she was like, oh, I have somebody that I want to connect you with. And I don't know if she had said the same thing to you, but you know, she put I think a text together, and then you called me and you left me a message. And I was like, oh my Lanta, God is great. Because you were like, Jeannie, I already have your phone number plugged into my phone. We already know each other. And I was like, see how good it was, God's timing. We couldn't have forced it then, because he knew. He was like, nope, you're going to see each other, and it's going to come back around.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's beautiful. And I'm so thankful for all of it. I mean, I'm just so thankful for all of it. And I felt like the first time, so what was funny too was like I actually never had a reading or a real big like spiritual talk or connection with Jeannie, but I was just like, you got to come to the space. And so you
saw the energy around me in line. We were in line, and you were like, your energy.
Yeah. And then even we filled up the room over here. I'm just like looking around. Sometimes I just like see things and I look around. And I try not to, but we filled up this space over here. And I'm like, this is hysterical. Like, I never heard this woman's readings. I don't know really anything, but I connected with your energy. Then that day that you came in with Elisa, I just knew anyway before you even came in. And I was just felt so blessed and honored that you were here. And when I remember, I was sitting in the back watching you in the front. And then I had this whole vision. You're my gateway. I had this whole vision of this space that we're now in. I don't want to like move the computer on too much, but I got these big, beautiful wings on the wall now.
I love them.
The room is painted with selenite. So it's just bringing in the light constantly. And so I literally like imagined Jeannie in this room, and I was like, I just see selenite through all these walls. And then we decorated everything. And I said, wings, like I see these angel wings. And yeah, I'm just so blessed.
I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Like, what an honor. And those wings and that selenite on the, like, Jessica, everything about it is so heavenly.
Yeah.
God,
and that's
so
what
great.
I just want to like, right? When we get closer to the light and closer to God's light, because I fought it my whole life, just like what we were talking about.
Yes.
I was when I was 6 years old, I was speaking tongues. I was getting visions. And as many visions as I was getting, I was dealing with trauma and I was literally hearing demonic. Even the dog can feel it, right? Like hearing, it's
Guys,
okay. No, it's all right.
FedEx is here.
It's okay. I like it. Yeah, it's character. But I was tormented, and I just really had to really hone in onto God, and I fought it. I fought God a long time, but He still was there. But even in the midst of fighting, I was still looking for Him. I'm like, listen, I don't want to just believe something because my parents told me to, or the church told me to. Like, where's my God? Where's my relationship with God?
I think you bring up a really, really important point, because many people that are drawn to listen to my podcast, they're sensitive souls, they're empaths, they're healers. They have abilities that they don't understand. And especially now, because of the age that we're living in, you can very much notice that same kind of energy. You might not be speaking tongues, but you can feel like that low vibe that evil wants to come in and take you down or scare you away from the light, because again, like, the stakes are high. This is the age of the healer, when all that's not based in love is disparting. It's just leaving. And fear doesn't want that. Evil does not want that, because if you are the light, if you look at the light, then he has no control. He has nothing over you. So very clearly, like, search and seek God every single day. Seek Him in the people that you connect with, the things that you're drawn to, the readings. My mom always said that, be careful what you bring into your home. It could have an energy to it. And she's so right. Like, be careful, like, feel it, ask God, like, is this it? Pause, stop, drop, and pray. And that's where we get our answers. And I know you got a really big tap in. Spirit talk to you. God's talked to you about your body, about things that were happening. Yeah. And that's where I'd like to kind of go now, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of women who have had trauma in their life could really relate to this, but I never lived in my body until now. It's taken me 39 years to live in my body. I dealt with abuse and all of that at a young age, and in various points in my life. And then, as cool as a weightlifting sounds, right? I mean, I was really doing it because I was afraid. Like, I was afraid of men. I was afraid of being vulnerable. So I dove really deep into like my wounded masculine. I'm really strong, and it was going to protect me, and nobody was going to get in, and I was going to look powerful, and then I was going to feel powerful, right? And I was going to, control my relationship with God. And
or is that the wounded feminine? Is that the woman, the wounded, feminine, who's like, I can't be soft, I can't be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I equated to softness or gentleness as weakness. Somebody was going to take advantage of me because I had it modeled. That I interpreted what it was ever modeled before me as that. So then I got into the weightlifting, really strong, all of that. And I noticed like God speaking to me, and I only would do competitions that God told me to do. Like literally, I was ready to leave it every time that there was a competition, because every time I would compete, I would crash. And at the end of it all, it was really like my husband, Peter, coming in, and I met him. And finally, I was like, I had 300 pounds fall on my face right before I met him. And I still went and I broke national records. And I was like,
Wait, what? Wait.
so
What?
I was getting ready for a national competition. And I've had a lot of different car accidents and such in my life, right? And all on the left side, which is your feminine side. And I'm left-handed, okay? So I'm bench pressing, and my spotter wasn't properly spotting me, my ex-boyfriend. And not that that matters, but the bar dropped and it fell on my face, and I turned my head and it crushed my face, displaced my jaw. I had nerve damage, right? This left side of my face. And I already had my teeth knocked out at one point. So I'm like, what just happened? I pulled myself together. Long story short, in a couple of months, I went and I broke national records. But then I was going for the world record, and I had this number and I had to get to it, and everything was hurting. And really, until I met Peter, I was able to sit in myself and go like, wait a minute, like this isn't fun anymore. I want to do what's fun and what feels good. Do I really care about these records? Do I really care about any of this stuff that doesn't matter? Like my ego only cares about it. So, but then I had adrenal burnout. And right when the only way that I could really stop weightlifting in a competitive way was I was like, you know what, let me go and get breast implants. They were never something that was like a big deal to me. But I felt like, okay, well, I'm an A and my ribs are big and I don't look like a woman. And if I get, all these different things, if I have them, then I'll stop weightlifting like that, because it's like Samson getting its muscle cut. I'll stop weightlifting as much. I'll be feminine. I'll be the Jessica Rabbit that I was born to be. So I got breast implants, and then they weren't good enough. So then a year later, I got the largest size silicone available on the market. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then like 2 years later, I was like, you know what? And I don't even have cable. I mean, this is how much the programming is involved with us. I haven't had cable in over 15 years. And I decided to get butt implants. I was like, you know what? Let me be nice in proportion. I look like a box. I look like a man. I want to trade my biceps in for a feminine body. And I went and I flew to the Butt King in Beverly Hills, and I got butt implants. And right after I got them, I woke up and I felt like, and I can say this, like I felt like I got raped. I felt completely violated, and I couldn't sit in my body. I couldn't sit, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move. I would wake up with these sweats and this anxiety, and it was like nothing was in alignment. And the first thing when I started to move, it took about 8 months to kind of get pseudo normal, but I pushed myself hard because that's what I was used to doing as an athlete. And after a month, I started doing my Kundalini yoga again. I was like, oh my God, I'm out of my body. I need to feel my body. But I was just literally living in fear in my body for a decade, until like how God works all things out, right? So I'm on this journey with my naturopath because I always ask the question, why? Even though I knew, like, why am I having this pain in my hip? Why am I having ovarian pain? Why am I having numbing down my feet? Why am I having sweats? Why do I have social anxiety and never had it before? Why? Okay, knew the answer. Ego didn't want to face it. Go to my naturopath. Long story short, this deep dive. And finally, it was like in August, I have a parasite, candida, leaky gut. Well, I eat an anti-inflammatory diet with bone broth and live foods and, no wheat, soy, whatever. How could this happen? I do all these wellness devices at my center. How could this happen? And at the same time, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. And I go to my mom, and my mom's like an A-size cup like me. And I go to my mom, like, what does it matter? This doesn't mean that you're feminine. What does it matter? And then I heard God go, what does it matter? What does it matter? Jessica,
Right. Yeah.
it matters.
Right. Mirroring
I'm
it
like,
to you.
oh, shoot. And then all of a sudden, I'm healing from this parasite. My body is like enraged. And I felt like I couldn't live in my skin. Everything was crawling with rage. And finally, I call my naturopath, do blood work. Now I have 13 full-blown food allergies. She's like, Jess, I've talked to you about this. There's no way around it. You need to explant. I just started crying, and I go, I knew it. She said, why didn't you say anything? I said, ego. So being that I own Haute, I see women coming in and out of here all the time, preparing me. They've had explants or ready to explant. So one of them was like, listen, her name is Jeanne too. She said, listen, I did research. Finally, she helped me hook me up with this doctor, one of the top 3 surgeons in the world. She's also a shamanic medicine woman and has some of the devices we have at Hope at her center. So she has surgery and wellness center. And it was like, I couldn't have manifested a more amazing woman.
Right. God just had your back the whole time.
So what was funny was going back to intuition, and God speaks to us in different ways. So I'm like, okay, mom needs to have a double mastectomy, and I need to get rid of these implants. Well, mom's mastectomy was scheduled for March, and my mastectomy in March with implants, because I was like, just get implants. And mine was scheduled for April. So one day over COVID Christmas, I had this dream, and I wake up and I need to call the doctor. And she had an opening for 2/22/22. Which we could go into that date and angel numbers and all that, but it really meant something to me. So I have the explant. My doctor said, I have no idea. She said, I have no idea how you were walking. I never saw the inflammation that came out of your body come out of anyone. And
Really?
all of your implants were the type that are recalled. But like other body parts are not recalled. The FDA doesn't recognize them. So they were the type known to cause lymphoma. So it wasn't, I had over 8 pounds of silicone in me. And then the thing that came out of my body, it was an entity. It was demonic. And I saw all that energy. I mean, I'm so blessed. So I got the explant. My mother just finished her mastectomy the other day, and the pathology just came back last night that she's totally clear. They took out all the abnormal cells. She's cancer-free. And it's like so healing, right? For her, for me, for other women. And, you know, it's funny too, because I was reading this book that my friend Jeanne gave me, Killer Breasts. And I said, if this is a simulation, I created this book because everything in here is everything that we do at Hope. It's all the different ways to detox. So I said, God, this is really my purpose, is to help other women on not only like on their choices, on their wellness journey, on their empowering, on self-love, of coming back to your body, of loving your body. I mean, I feel better now than I did at any point in my entire life. This was the best decision I made, other than marrying Peter. This was the best other decision I made in my adult life.
When we first got on, you know, I've known Jessica for, you know, quite a number of years now. And, you know, we were on talking before we went live, and I leaned in and I said, Jessica, you look so soft. And I think that goes to the point of like what you were seeing, like it was a foreign object. It was creating an energy that wasn't you, and a persona that really wasn't all you. But I think what we can take away, like in our lives, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you have implants, but did you take on an energy? Did you become someone that's not really you because you're so energy sensitive that you haven't addressed that fact yet, that you have the ability to re-choose and to ask God, like, what will you have me do in this moment? Like, I've been, maybe you're a healer and you've been wanting to take some classes and dive into that. Maybe you have gifts and you've seen spirit and you want to lean in and know the God-based method of doing it in a healthy way, in a vibration that is of love and not in a prediction, scary, dark, demonic space. Like, you want to come in and you want to serve God, not ego. Maybe you were ready to leave your job and start writing. Like, what is it? Where are you at? What does it mean for you?
Yeah. And I think what's really hard as women too is we take on so much.
Yeah.
But it's like times like this, or people like you, or again, going back to what you said, seeking God out every day, right? Seeking
Every
things
day.
out, doing something every day. You can't wait for it to show up. You have to be an active participant in this relationship.
Yes.
Because I lost my thought for a second, but because he'll guide you. Oh, this was my thought. I mean, it's because not every thought we think is our thought.
I know, right? Not every thought is of God. You have to question it. You have to resource. You have to look and you have to say, like, is this meant for me? Is it, did I pick it up? Like, yeah, you've got to check it before you wreck it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I picked it up. I never was the person. I was voted class feminist. I had dreadlocks and a half-shaved head, and I refused to shave my legs all of high school because I was like, you have no right to tell me what it means to be feminine, and then don't classify me as gay or straight or whatever. I am whatever God wants me to be. I am me, whatever that is, right? And I think it's still good to say whatever that is as we travel. But, I took on the energy of, okay, well, this is what society says it is. So now I'm going to feel whole and complete. I mean, we're all subject to that in some way or another. And,
so, this is kind of what I was saying, like earlier, like you got derailed a little bit. It doesn't mean that it was all bad. It doesn't mean like, yes, that maybe this decision to have the implants was against your truth, but what did you gain?
Oh
instead of what did you lose?
I gained so much. I got reborn. I literally got reborn. I mean, I don't know if we have 2 minutes for it, but I literally met my guides. I've always been connected to the word justice. Like, even for Teacher Appreciation Week, I had kids address me as like, Jessica Justice, because I used to want to change my name to Justice, right? Because I was like, I just want justice and freedom for all people, right? And so what did I gain? Okay, let me stay on point because I could go into that story. So I gained deeper access into my guides. I gained a clear vision of my purpose. God showed me a 3, 5, and 10-year plan that could be subject to change, but I literally saw my life going forward. I feel more feminine now than I ever did in my entire life. I have found the strength and the beauty of vulnerability. I have connected to my body in a different way than I ever thought possible. And because of that, my intimacy in relationships and in my marriage has increased. And I didn't think it even could increase because it was great. And I'm not just talking about, right, physical intimacy, but intimacy on all levels. Honestly, my throat chakra opened up. I mean, I've been able to speak clearly, organize my thoughts better, even organize my house, my environment. I mean, we could go on and on. Besides,
I can say, like, when I came to Haute Healing the first time, I can attest to this, like a different person. You couldn't articulate your words out. You had a hard time processing. You had to take time to think before you would speak. And you were like a different being, 100%. Like, and it's just coming in.
Because I felt myself was getting blocked. And I always had a very like voice, but it was too harsh. And now what God is teaching me is like, again, he reminded me of the owl last night, like, be quiet. Sometimes just your silence is still speaking.
Hmm. Yeah, it
right?
is through the quiet that we hear God. It is through the stillness. But
Yeah.
the stillness is something we fight against. We don't want to be still because it's in the stillness we're afraid of what we're going to hear.
Mhm. But I'm not afraid anymore.
Me
I want
either.
to, I want to hear it. And I just, because of what happens like biologically, we get used to running, right? We build those,
Yep.
we build those neurotransmitters in our body, and it's like we just automatically go back on default. And so what's happening to me as I see, that's my challenge right now that I'm learning through and growing through, is that I could see that way, but also really who I am. And is there really a need to rush like this? Is there really a need to check off all these boxes that I've created in a
Mm.
day? What is that ultimately going to give me? Is that going to give me more joy and fulfillment and connectivity? No, I'm going to be left depleted and exhausted. So relearning my own internal boundaries and
Mhm.
boundaries with others, right?
Right.
And even boundaries of thought, like learning to select thoughts like you select clothes, right?
Yes.
You select,
Vibration, right? Everything's vibration.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I'd love to have another conversation with you because I've been doing conversations around our manifesting law of attraction, which for me has always had like a low vibration to it because it didn't always speak of God. A lot of, people talking about manifesting, they leave that out. They leave the essence of working with God to move the mountains that are inside gently instead of forcing. We can force and have things come into our life with a law of attraction method, but will we be happy? Will we be filled with joy? Will we have freedom? And will it last? Will it sustain? And it can't sustain and stay with us if we aren't of equal measure. Yes, you can bring it in and the universe will provide. God is that great. But
Yeah.
if your energy internally isn't a complete 100% match, what happens is you're going to end up back in the same place. You're going to feel depressed, depleted, alone, whatever it is that you're really, truly, healing from. And if we do it in God's timing, if we lean in and manifest with God, like the opening happened, like you said, you saw God gave you like the plan, and it's not about prediction because he knows we have free will, but he knows you best, and he knows you needed a vision, so you had a focus. He knows how your brain works, and so he's going to give that to you. And he's
Mhm.
like, oh, this is going to make sense for specifically you, and he's going to give you this like time frame because you will bounce, otherwise you will just like you'll spin. God knows you, right?
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
knows me. He's like, okay, if I give you too much in the view, you won't be in the moment. Like
Mhm.
he knows me, so he's going to speak my language, and he's
Yeah.
going to be like, let's look at the miracles, let's look at the miracles. He's gets constantly showing me the miracles so I can have that, oh, and then always reflect on what have you already brought into your life, what desires, how many mountains have moved inside of you because of this relationship. Not from my own doing, but because of this relationship I have with God. How many of those things have effortlessly shifted and
Yeah.
healed because, whew, and that's,
Yeah. Yes. Like it's really a co-creation, right? So,
yes,
so some people ask me, and you can ask yourself, like, how do we juggle all the things that we do in a day, right?
yeah,
Full-time teacher, full-time mother, full-time student, full-time business. How do we, want to work out all the time? How do we think of all these things? Or I see new women entrepreneurs that are like, oh my God, I feel like I'm working even more for myself now than I did before. I'm like, okay, at first it's like work, but let's change the verbiage. And
yes,
it's creating. I'm not working, I'm creating. I'm
yes,
co-creating with you right now. When I sleep, I'm creating. I want God. I'm a vessel of creation. I want God to create through me.
yes.
I want my life to be a showcase for Him, right? How do you want to
I
create things?
love, I love this so much. This is such a good conversation, and it just warms my heart so much. Jessica, first, you have to send me where you got those angel wings behind you because I can't stop looking at them. Like they're
Honestly,
just
they
incredible.
got them from Ukraine right before this all happened, right as I went into
Of course you did. They are spectacular. God bless them, right?
You're gonna soon. Yeah, God bless them.
We love you. So May 21st, because 21 is my number now. I gotta tell you, it's been 21. The angels keep giving it to me. So it's such a magical number. That the 21st, I'm going to be at Haute at 1 p.m. So we're getting all these ones, which I love. And I'm going to be doing a group reading, an afternoon with spirits. Let's talk a little bit about the services at Haute, because I would like people to know like the things that you offer. One, I really love the sauna. I have an infrared sauna, but it's like, I don't know if you find this so healing for your soul and for like detoxing the body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the infrared sauna is incredible for detox, right? There's over 30 proven medical benefits. So if you compared it to a gym sauna, you'd have to sit in a gym sauna for over 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to get only part of the benefits that you would get in a 30-minute session in the infrared.
Wow.
We have the infrared saunas, and all of our rooms they look really different. They're all built and based
themed
on the different chakras. So we have 6 different rooms. They hit all the chakras, and then we have ionic detoxing foot baths. So you
which is incredible.
Yeah, it's like so disgusting, but
so disgusting,
but amazing at the same time. So it's drawing.
I can't help but like it, because it looks like, so you're just putting your feet in, that's all you're doing. You sit there and you meditate, like that's all you have to do. But afterwards you look down at the water and it can have like any kind of color. And you look up on the chart, you guys have this great chart that tells you like, this is what got detoxed from your liver. This is what black, this is what orange, this is what brown means. It is so fascinating.
Cool. It's really cool.
And you just like, you want to see more yucky color, because you're like, get out of me.
I know. It's like, it's like grossly lovely. It's like going to take a good bathroom and you're like, how did I do that? But that's amazing.
Right. Yes.
So, and then we have,
the Beamer chair. I love the Beamer.
We have the Beamer. We have some new devices since you came last year.
You do?
Yeah, we have about like 3 or 4.
Ooh.
We have over a dozen. So the Beamer is a circulation technology. It's the only thing in the world that can wake up all your blood vessels, even the deepest little ones that are in bones, and it helps your blood flow 30% faster.
Yeah.
And
there's something energetically when I sat on the Beamer that it was, I don't know, it kind of matched my energy. I kind of felt like, oh, I can definitely do this. It freaks some people out. Some people don't like it.
No, that saved my life. I believe I would have been immobilized or dead if it wasn't for that device, especially while I was what I was going through.
Yeah.
So you should come early on that Saturday and do some treatments.
I know, definitely.
Yeah, and get yourself all yummied up. And then Sonics uses sound waves to vibrate you 1,000 times a minute. So 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
60
I
minutes.
think I did this.
But
the workout one.
It also decalcifies for these spirit lovers. It decalcifies your pineal gland.
Okay.
And it moves
which
more
is
blood.
It's back here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it moves it moves more blocked energy than 90 minutes of Tai Chi or Qigong. But we have bands now. You can exercise when you're on it. You have an oxygen mask. So you're really separating yourself. We created a device called the Norse. It's 5 treatments in one. It's negative ions, oxygen, red light, and salt. Okay. Negative ions are what you get near a waterfall when you feel all like woozy and like amazing, and it releases serotonin. Oxygen and red light. So we're only breathing 21% oxygen a day. Now you're breathing 95% oxygen. So it's really open up your lungs. The salt is condensed. So 20 minutes is like if you sat in a salt cave for an hour, except now this treatment's private. You can disrobe. So it gets all into your skin. Your cells are open. Your lungs are opening. The red light is really good for your skin, oxygen, energy production. So, and then there's sound therapy that's coming through the seat, you know, there's like shamanic drums. It's really cool. So
Oh boy.
you feel so good after it. And then we have a whole body contouring department.
Becca saying I need to come there before Ironman. Yeah, you do, Becca. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Shonda, you should check out if you have infrared near you, because I think it would really serve you on so many levels.
Yeah. So we have this other device that we haven't launched yet. Oh, we have something called a microlight, which has a patent with CBD to really help pain. It'll bring this about, I don't remember how many inches. It's at least, it's like 3 inches into the bone even.
Really?
It helps people recover and heal, like incredible. And we have another device, which is it for those who have a hard time meditating. It has your brain. There's decades of science. We're like the second distributors in the United States from Europe. You put these glasses on and a whole headset, and it's audio and visual stimulation that brings you into a deep state of meditation for whatever your intention is. You need more. And there's hundreds of programs.
I need to come down before the event.
Yeah.
Before the event, because I think that for me, the day of the event is like, I just have to meditate and be in my body and be still. Like if I do anything like that, I think it would just like take me out. Oh my gosh. I brought my girlfriends. We did a party after when COVID opened up and we could all come. So I brought all my people that work with me and my best friends, and we had a whole Haute Healing Day, a party. We brought lunch in. It was incredible. Everybody, like, I'm sure they would all love to do it again. It really was the best thing.
Food vendors and a better space, and everything's gotten so much better. We literally built a new wing, and then, you know,
she's got a new angel wing.
Yeah, we built these wings and we built a new wing. So yeah, the hydro massage, right? 20 minutes is equal to
the hydro massage. Oh my gosh, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely go check out Haute Healing. Rachel's saying, oh, hold on, let me read what she said. She said, I opened up so much more and really learning what truly is going on within me. Do you hear anything from me? I feel like I already know, LOL, but thank you for everything. I feel like this was special considering I kept my masculine out all the time. Oh my gosh, Rachel, I love that. I love that she recognizes that, because it's not really something that we want to admit, is like when we have that masculine on board.
Yeah.
But like when we start to soften, it's like life becomes so much easier, and we start to I feel like to trust what you innately know, instead of like just kind of like the actions of doing and doing and doing. Do you find that for yourself? Like that's where you used to be? Like you got a lot of shit done.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And so now I'm learning, like I was saying before, learning that balance of, hey, battle, right? There's different kinds of battle. Even Joyce Meyer is like battlefield of the mind. What is that? Pray. Are you physically doing anything? No. So we're always doing something, right? Even when we're sleeping and our dreaming, our soul is solving problems, clearing itself out. So remembering that not doing is still doing, not making a decision is still making a decision.
Right. You know? Procrastinating is procrastinating. You know, you're still choosing it.
Yeah. So it's about, I think, identifying, going back to the wings, both sides of our bird wings, the masculine side and the feminine side. And together, when they're united, working in harmony, then can we fly?
Right. Yes. Shonda is wanting to hear from her sister or her parents. And Shonda, you know they're always around you, girl. I definitely feel like what your mom is showing me is like maybe some possibility of leaning out into the community somehow. Like I really do love some type of healing for you, which is like anything that Jessica has to offer. I know, like that infrared sauna, just anywhere you can go where you're going to be nurtured and held. I feel like taking a walk outside of your house is so important. Even if you have help, like I feel like there are helping hands that would love to come and nurture and help and support you. I don't know what that looks like by you, but I love that because I feel like you need connection and like someone to like hold you is what I keep feeling. Becca says, yes, she's going to come down. Becca, definitely mention that you listen to the show when you go in, and Jessica will give you a little extra love.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. This is like killer good. Like I just feel like it touches on so much.
Thank you for having me. I was so excited to come on. And it was funny. It was funny too, because when God's ready to do a work, sometimes you're faced with challenges.
Yeah.
So even this morning, and last night, I just felt like all this grief and heaviness come on. And I'm like, what is that? That's not me. And then identifying, wait a minute, like, what is going to happen here today? Like, what is the enemy of my soul, right? Or however you want to put it, the devil or the enemy of my soul. Like, what is it trying to do right now? There's something
trick
big.
You out of your joy.
Yeah, there's something big that's going to come on and come forward. So recognizing that, speaking to that, still saying, let's go forward. Let's create together. Let's hold hands together.
And I got to tell you, like, I really love that you're not afraid to talk about it, because that's one of the things I think is the most important. Like, call it out. Don't let that trickster voice within you shadow over you and keep you from experiencing joy. Bring it right to God and just be like, this doesn't belong here. I don't understand this. Let him have it and tell it no. Say, no, you don't live here. Like, be like, no. Grief is a really beautiful thing. You were just, I feel like, a little bit grieving like the past, but it feels also like you're more loving the present. But I feel like, the trick is like the trickster wants you to be like, woe is me. But you're just like, no, absolutely not. I don't have a second to waste on that.
No, not a second.
Not a second.
Important moment. This is the most important moment.
Absolutely. Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You guys, I want you to put in the comment section what your favorite takeaway is from today, and be sure to check out Haute Healing. They are on Instagram, on Facebook, and we will put everything in the show notes, of course, so you have that. God bless you. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. And then I'll talk to you soon so you can come by, and I can't wait to see all of you when you come in. You can also message me, especially on Instagram, and I'll check it. And I would love to meet you when you come in. And hopefully you can make the date with Jeanne.
Awesome. All right, you guys, you know what I know, because angels don't lie. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. God bless you guys.
God bless you. Thank you.